Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name's Arlo. I'm a second year finance major at De La Salle University, and today we'll be continuing the monthly favorites series, but we're rebranding it and we're calling it the monthly highlights, just because I think it sounds better. Nobody cares, but basically, I'll be talking about the important things I learned, discovered, and experienced in the past month of April. Timestamps are here or here. You can skip around or click off this video. I don't care. Do what you want. The first thing I want to share is a Medium article called Why You Shouldn't Be Nice by Marvel Gamulia. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a student in my old high school. Basically, he argues that we shouldn't be nice, but instead that we should be good people. The problem with being nice, most nice people are merely signaling their niceness. They aren't good people in reality, they are just good at signaling. We're so good that we don't realize we do it until it's brought to our attention. Nice people aren't good people. They are people who are brought up in environments where nice behavior is rewarded. And I really resonate with this because I remember growing up and I was rewarded for doing things that would please other people. There was this one time in third grade where, out of nowhere during break time, someone shouts, "Beat up this person." And I followed it because everyone else was doing it and someone said to do it. And I don't even know why I did it. I just did it because it was apparently nice to do it. I didn't have the critical thinking or self-conscious awareness of my actions. And later on, the teacher talked to us and actually scolded us for doing it. And I had the audacity to retaliate, oh, because somebody told me to do it, so I had to do it. And then the teacher gave the coldest reply. It was like, if your friend told you to jump off the mountain, would you do it? And I don't know, that story just reminds me of, oh, we shouldn't just be nice, we should be good as well. We should focus on what the right thing is to do instead of pleasing society. And in this article, Marvel brings up the trolley problem. So basically, it's when a train is reaching 5 people, but there's a lever that you can pull and it will make the train hit one person instead. Now, most nice people, when they answer this, they would not want to pull the lever because they will be seen as a socially bad person. But if you look at it objectively, if you pull the lever, only one person will die instead of 5 people. And rationally, it's better if only one person dies instead of 5 people to die. Of course, there are many random variables you could argue, but I don't know, that's all contextual and situational. Oh, what if it's your friend? Or what if the person's pregnant? Okay, fine. It's very different. But if we look at it from an objective standpoint, the better thing for humanity would be to pull the lever so that it will kill one person instead of killing the 5. And Marvel really encapsulates this in his questions. He asks, ask ourselves, do we want to do good, or have we merely conformed to what constitutes good behavior in social groups? Really nice quote. And there's also this kind of controversial one where he says, people who are trying to advocate for stopping climate change are the aggressively nice types, and I kind of agree because it's kind of like virtue signaling. You're just saying that we should stop climate change, but then what are you doing to actually solve the problem besides posting it on social media? So that's also a really nice part I like from this article. Another part is the characteristics of people who fall into the nice person category are 1, high inclination to conform, and 2, strong need for social belonging. So in a way, if we want to be less nice and more good, we should not just try to conform to everything that society tells us to, but actually just try to see for ourselves what is the right thing to do. And the second thing is the strong need for social belonging. Now, I have my own take on this. I also believe that we should have social connections, but I think we don't have to take it to the extreme where we have to belong everywhere. Instead, we should find our people and just stick to them. That's not to say we don't talk to other people, but then more we don't have to feel like we belong in every single circle and be accepted there. It's perfectly fine to just, be with your own people. And now for the highlight of this article, it says that we should be good people instead of being nice people. And being good people means doing whatever is best for humanity. So going back to the example of the train trolley problem, the best thing for humanity is if only one person dies instead of 5 people dies. I also like this quote where it says, being good may mean walking the path alone, bringing up contrarian ideas, becoming disliked by social groups, all for humanity. And despite all that, getting no recognition for all these sacrifice, and realize that and continue to push forward anyway. Now this reminded me of a lesson from the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, where he says there are 3 kinds of values: shitty values, bad values, and good values. So basically, shitty values are just very superficial things that don't really matter to us, like popularity or, in a way, status, or trying to impress strangers. Sure, you can live your life like that, but then it's are you really living your best life? Are you really doing the things that are helpful to humanity? No. But if you apply good values, which is honesty, hard work, responsibility, these things aren't sexy, but they are actually the things that when we embody them, we are living our lives and actually helping humanity as much as we can. I really like how he ends the article, which is, do you want to be nice or do you want to be good? And I realized moving forward, I want to do what's good, even though it means I'll be disliked by certain people, even though I won't be accepted in certain social groups. But as long as I'm living life to my moral compass and doing what I think will help benefit humanity the most, I'm okay with it. Now moving on to my second highlight, it's the book Essentialism by George McKeown. And basically, this book talks about how you can focus when you're overwhelmed with many opportunities. And this actually resonated with me because a year ago, I was struggling with focus. I was an officer at 2 organizations. I was struggling to study, and I was trying all new different kinds of things and meet all sorts of people. And in the end, I was like being pulled in 100 different directions and making zero progress. But then I realized at the end of the trimester, when I saw my terrible grades and I saw my physique wasn't that good, and I saw I was actually kind of mentally unhealthy, I realized, okay, this is the time where I'll get my stuff together. What are the things that I can get rid of and actually get progress in my life? And there's actually this image that will encapsulate the entire philosophy of essentialism. Basically, you want to focus on a few things that will lead you to more progress instead of 100 different things that will lead you to 100 different directions but no progress. But back on the story, I quit all of the orgs that I was in. I talked to less people and focused more on the people who really mattered. And I focused all of my attention into one subject, which is accounting, which is my worst subject. And in the end, I got a good score from that subject. I became healthier, happier, and in a way, I was just seeing more progress in my life. So basically, George says in the book, there are 2 kinds of people. There are the essentialists and the non-essentialists. The non-essentialist thinks that everything is important, so they try to stuff everything into their calendar. The essentialists realize that not everything is important. They're only the vital few. And in order to focus on that, he has to get rid of everything else. And this quote that I like, I don't remember who actually said it, but it says, you can't do anything. You can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want. And that really stuck with me because at first I thought that, oh, I can't do anything that I want. I have to focus on one thing. That's kind of very restricting. I don't like that. But then I realized, oh, I have the freedom to choose whatever subject I want to study or whatever exercise sport that I want to pursue. I have the freedom to do that. But if I do one thing, it means I'm saying no to another thing. So I took that to heart. Instead of trying to be like a 15-hour work day, just focus on studying stuff, I thought, okay, I'll study one subject mostly, I'll do one sport, and I'll talk to one certain group of friends most of the time. And in a way, it didn't feel like I was being robbed, but more like, oh, I have more bandwidth to focus on one sport instead of focusing on 3 sports where I didn't get any progress and I was like scattered all over the place. So here's some quotes I really like. Remember that if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And I really like that because if we don't set our own priorities, by default, we'll follow what other people are telling us to do, whether it's meetings, homework, or projects. I'm not saying that you should just ignore everyone else's expectations on you, but rather, if you don't prioritize your own life, somebody else will do it. And whether you like it or not, you have to live through it. Second, essentialism is not about how to get more things done. It's about how to get the right things done. It doesn't mean just doing less for the sake of less either. It's about making the wisest possible investment of your time and energy in order to operate at their highest point of contribution by doing only what is essential. Yeah, I think this encapsulates this really well because essentialism isn't just about being more productive. It's about being more effective. Efficiency is about doing things as economically optimal as possible. So it's like doing more emails or playing as many sports as possible. But being effective is about doing the right things. What are the things that are actually important in your life that lead to progress towards your goals? And no matter how efficient you are, if you just do these things every single day, you'll find you'll have more progress in this as an essentialist. Another quote I like is, if it isn't a clear yes, it's a clear no. So lately I've been thinking about a lot of different career choices, like, oh, should I join this finance competition, or should I apply for CFA, or should I join this internship? And I realized that, oh wow, I've been at the maybe instead of the hell yes. And I think it's my brain saying hey, if you pick these things, you might not have time to go to the gym or to study. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So I realized that, oh, instead of trying to convince myself to go from a okay to a clear yes, I default oh, if it's a maybe, then it's a clear no. So I realized that, oh, okay, I don't have to put everything in my schedule. I can just default maybes into clear no. Lastly is, we overvalue non-essentials like a nicer car or house, or even intangibles like the number of followers on Twitter, or the way we look on our Facebook photos. As a result, we neglect activities that are truly essential, like spending time with our loved ones, or nurturing our spirit, or taking care of our health. And I really like this because there was a time in school where I was trying to chase as much grades as possible. So I would neglect people. I wouldn't exercise because that wasn't productive. And in the end, I got worse grades. But then I thought, okay, maybe I'm just stupid all this time. So the next following trimester, I said, okay, what would this look like if it were easy? So I talked to friends more, I exercised more, I relaxed more, I laughed more, And as a result, my mental health went up. And ironically, my grades went up as well. So I was like, wow, okay. So I was stupid all this time. I was chasing the superficial thing. And it was like running away. But when I let go and I just focused on what truly matters, which to me was my mental health, my physical health, my relationships, and doing things that, normal human beings do, then the grades came, and the superficial things that I didn't really chase after, they actually came to me. This is not to say that, you shouldn't work hard in studying or whatever work you're doing. But it's like when you focus on what's really important, the non-important things will come as a side bonus. It's just how the world works. My third highlight is joining a networking event for the first time, and this was called Raid the Fridge by Kickstart Ventures. Now, this is a VC firm, which is a venture capital firm. Basically, what a venture capital firm is it pulls funds from limited partners, which are like rich people, and then they invest in early stage or growth startups. So basically, these startups aren't profitable yet, but they could be the next big thing in the future. And I really stumbled upon this because I realized that I'm very interested in venture capital, investing, and startups, especially as I'm taking a finance degree. And I actually went on Google and tried to search what are the VC firms in the Philippines, and I figured out Kickstart Ventures. I messaged like 5 to 10 people on LinkedIn, like, hey, my name's Arlo. I'm inspiring VCs. And luckily, 3 people replied to me and referred me to this event called Raid the Fridge. So I joined. I was probably one of the youngest one there, and I actually kind of felt a bit of an imposter syndrome. But I said, okay, why not? I came here to talk to people and learn about VC. So I went up to the first person I saw. He was wearing a suit and he was standing on the table there. And I was like this awkward college student, I was going up to him and was like, hello, my name's Arlo. And then reaching out to shake his hand, even though I was 5 meters away from him. So basically I got to know him. And then after that, I got some very solid advice from him and his friend. And one thing that stuck out to me was you're on the right path, Arlo. Just talk to as many people as possible. Just get yourself out there and just ask questions, ask for advice. And it pretty much worked. I talked to around 10 plus people and I got advice for free from founders, from foreign investors. I even talked to the speaker at the time, who was the vice president of investments at the firm. And then around 8 p.m., there was this talk about the food and agri-tech sector by the speaker. And there's some shocking things that I learned from it. I learned that 47% of the world are involuntarily hungry. 47% involuntarily hungry. They are starving and they can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter how much they work. It doesn't matter if they have a job or not. They will not be able to eat enough. Because imagine that's half of the world. And we're so used to all these blessings that we have, all these privileges that we kind of become entitled to them. And we complain a lot about, oh, our lives are terrible. Yeah. But 47% of the world is involuntarily hungry. They can't eat. They eat less than 1 meal a day. And that really gave me a huge mindset shift. Oh, I actually want to help these kinds of people. I want to be more grateful for the blessings that I have. And that actually made me more interested in how can startups help the food sector. And so I learned a lot about that. I met some startup founders. I learned about the industry in the Philippines, all that things that are boring to you, but whatever. Looking back, I'm grateful that I experienced this because not only did I learn a lot, but I was able to build connections with successful people and inspiring people. And I had a really good time. So I'm looking forward to attending as many networking events and talks as much as possible. But for now, my focus is on school and on this YouTube channel. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. I'll see you tomorrow.